SpaceX Dragon, or go for launch. Let's light this candle.
1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Spot and Dog.
Hi, I'm Conor Cimo. I was a graduate of Hersey in 2014. I was fortunate enough during my time there to take some engineering pathways courses for 3 of my 4 years. And those courses really gave me a really strong foundation that I then took into college, where I was able to build upon and eventually landed me a job at SpaceX, where I currently am one of the propulsion engineers in charge of sending the Dragon spacecraft to space.
Liftoff.
So one of the things that I really appreciated from what Mr. Wiederzak taught us at Hersey was you work as a team, and especially as you go into college and you go definitely in industry, like you're not accomplishing these things all alone. You have to be able to work with other people and to bounce ideas off other people so that the best idea can win, or that there's a general like good consensus moving forward with the project. And so taking a group of like 15 high school students, I think was the size of our team in Project Lead the Way, like getting them all to agree on a path forward and setting up leadership and stuff like that, that made it really like a great experience, so that when I went to college, I joined and eventually was part of the leadership of the USC Rocket Propulsion Lab, which were the only student group to ever send a rocket into space. You know, that's what I was working on in college, you know, and it's a very similar dynamic. You've got, again, like 20, you know, in this time, college students, and we're all figuring things out. We're all taking risks. We're all learning how to do this on the fly. And, you know, that was really similar to what Mr. Wiederzak had us doing in high school, whether it was the high mileage car where we had to come up with the design and then go through fabrication. And then, you know, eventually we crashed one of them. And how do you rebound from, like, you know, crashing the thing you've been working on for 6 months? And that was a great experience, because when we got to college, like, we were blowing up rockets left and right. We were, you know, my first 3 years in college, I think we might have had one successful rocket. And then eventually, because we had all this failure, we had all this, you know, learning experiences, we were able to put the pieces together and fly, you know, the highest performing student rocket ever built. You know, and that's like a direct parallel to what Mr. Wiederzak had us doing. This dynamic of, all right, take these pretty challenging technical problems and work as a team, figure it out, you know, divide and conquer. So Connor, go do, you know, this part of it, and Mike go to the other part of it, and come together with something meaningful. And that's what I do every day now. You know, the challenges are different, the people are different, you know, we're older, and so we're still doing the same things we did at Hersey. We're sitting in a circle and we're bouncing ideas off of each other, and we're trying to have a space where everybody can be heard, so that you can get really good input and make the best thing possible. And I directly attribute, like, my confidence in those scenarios, the ability to feel comfortable speaking up and saying, you know, hey, I've got this idea, let's, you know, jam on it. That really came from Mr. Wiederzak. He had no tolerance for people shutting stuff down. You know, every idea is valid until it's proven stupid. And that was great. I'm really fortunate I had that. And it's continued to help me through, you know, the 7 or so years I've been at SpaceX. With SpaceX, working specifically on the Raptor engine, which back then was kind of more of a project on paper. We were just starting to put together the first iterations of it. You know, did those internships, and then was able to step into a full-time role as a propulsion engineer on Dragon, working specifically on what's called the Super Draco engine, which is our engine that we use to take the capsule that has the astronauts in it and get it away from any sort of, you know, dangerous situation, whether it's the rocket exploding underneath it or the rocket, you know, going in the wrong direction or something. It's like our last ditch, like, make sure everyone comes out of this safe. And I know, you know, I didn't think I was going to be doing this when I was in high school. I was just really fortunate to have, you know, the people like Mr. Wiederzak and the classes at Hersey that kind of helped put me on this path and stick with it. It's a great time. Enjoy the ride. Whatever you end up doing, just, you know, make sure you're putting your happiness and excitement, you know, first, and you'll get to do some awesome stuff with some awesome people, and Hersey was a part of that and continues to be. So thank you, Mr. Wiederzak, and everyone else.